This is the Roulette Master, and if you're new to my channel, please subscribe by hitting that red subscribe button in the lower right hand corner. Also ring that bell for notifications because I have new content releasing every single day of the week at 9 a.m. Before we dive into today's video, I want to ask all of you out there if you have to ante at the casino when you're playing roulette. Because I was passing through Oklahoma and I noticed all of the casinos make you ante before you play each hand in roulette, and it makes it really hard to win. I also talked to David Box, who lives in Texas, but the closest casino to him is on the Texas-Oklahoma border, and they make you ante there as well. So definitely a reason for people to switch to the video roulette or automated so they don't have to do that. But I'd like to hear from all of you if that's the case where you live or if that's just in Oklahoma. So again, let me know down in the comments. For today's video, I want to talk about something else with the Joe N. Barnes video, because there's a couple different ways of playing it, and I'm getting so much feedback, more feedback than I've had in a while for any video on it. So I think it's really important that we stay with this and figure out the best way to play it. So let's go ahead and start. For those of you that didn't see the first video, you start with $10 on first and second 12. You never lose unless you hit a third 12. And if you do hit a third 12, and obviously if you win, you just rebet. But if you do hit a third 12, you sit out until you don't hit a third 12. And then you increase by 1 unit. So right now we're winning, and we'll just keep betting. But the two different ways of playing it are based on whether or not you reset when you're in total profit or in profit for that session. So that's what I want to talk to you about today. Like I said, mainly because there's so much interest in this system. And I've had many people say this is the best system they've seen in a while. So I think it deserves some more attention. So again, right now we're just increasing 1 unit at a time. I'm sorry, we only do that after we lose. I'm sorry, we're staying with the same bet right now. But if we lose, we sit out until something hits that's not third 12. And I'll show you here because there's a loss. And so we sit out now. And remember, if you're sitting out at a live table, you need to be standing up. You can't be sitting in a chair or they'll tell you that you can't be sitting down. So there we got a number that wasn't third 12, so now we know we go to $20 instead of 10. We increase by 1 unit. And we lost. So anytime you lose, you're going to sit out. But you have to remember where you're at, because we were at 20. So we spin without betting. And we hit something that wasn't third 12, so that means we bet again, but now we go from 20 to 30 because we're always increasing by 1 unit when it's time to bet again. And now we're going to go ahead and spin. And the key to this system is checking your balance. And we lost again there. So when you lose, you have to remember we lost it at 30, let me make sure that's right. Yeah, we lost it 30 each on that time. So if obviously we spin without betting again, because you never, in this system, you never spin after a third 12 hits, and you wait for something that's not third 12. So we did that, and the last one was 30, so now we know we go to 40, because you increase by 1 unit. And then we got a win. So now it's time to check your totals. And the two different ways of playing it are if you're in total profit, start over, or if you're in session profit. Now right now we have neither, so we have to go again. And basically you can see the last bet was 40 each. So if we get a win, we stay at wherever we're at. We don't increase. Is one way of doing it, and then we wait until we're in total profit or session profit before we start over. So we got another win. Now we're up in session and total because it's our first session. And then we would go back to $10. But another thing that David Box has told me this week, which has really worked for him, and it's up to you if you want to try this, is if he gets down in the negative, he'll try to get back what he's down by, instead of doing a bunch of wins, getting a single win. But we'll get more into that in a little bit. But let's go back to $10 because we're in profit again. And again, I hope you notice that we go up 1 unit each time. But at the same time, when you lose, you sit out again like we just did. We just lost again there. And okay, now we rolled something that wasn't a third 12, so we bet. Now we go to 20 instead of 10. And then if we win this one, which we didn't, if we had won, we would have checked our profit and made sure that we were in profit before we started over. But as you can see, we lost again. So we lost at 20 each. So that means we sit out. And we know the next bets are going to be 30 each because the last time they were 20 each. And then there's another loss. And this is what I was trying to show everyone in the first video. If you get a bunch of third 12s in a row while you're not betting, it's really saving you money and it's protecting you from bad streaks, which is, I think, what a lot of people really like about this system. So we got something that wasn't third 12, so now we're going to go to 30. It was 20 on the last one. And let's see what we get. Okay, we got a win. So then when we get wins after a loss and we sit out, we check to see if we're in total or session profit. Again, we're in neither, so we have to rebet the same thing again, which would be 30 each. Or if you were down more, you could do what David Box says to do as well. But I want to talk a little bit more about session and total profit also, because it's actually easier to keep track of total profit than session profit, because total profit, you can always just look down and say, okay, we're up to total profit, we start back at $10. And that's what I've been doing because it's a really safe way to play. I know a few others have decided they want to play session profit, but it's a little harder to keep track of. And let me go ahead and place the next bets here. Just 1 second. There we go. My computer froze there for a second. So I'm enjoying going off of session profit because it takes forever to get in trouble with this system. So we lost that one, so we'll spin without betting. Then we hit something that wasn't third 12, so it's time to bet again, and then we go to 20 because you're always increasing by 1 after you lose and sit out. That's 1 unit of $10. Okay, so we won, so we check, and we're at the same session-wise. We're in profit. So the way I've been playing, you would definitely start over here, and I'll show you the other one once we get in that situation. So the only issue with the way I've been doing it is that sometimes you can stay in one spot for a long time and go a little while without making money, but it's much safer. So again, anytime you win at 10, you just rebet, and that's where you get a lot of your winnings if you can get a bunch of them in a row. Another thing to tell you is when you hit 0, it's just like hitting third 12 with this system. So we sit out, whether you hit third 12 or 0. So we got something that wasn't third 12, so we increase those to 20 and then spin. And then we check our balance. We're up on the session and the total. So we go back to $10. The main thing that people might have an issue with this system is that when you're having a little bit of a rough time like I am right now, you end up taking a long time to win money. Like right now we're only up $30 total. But I'm starting to enjoy the fact that I can play much longer and not worry about having big losses as well. So I'm sure that is very important to a lot of you as well. And if you use the session, there's going to be a lot of times where you're actually up you might get up a decent amount, but you're down for the session. So technically, if you played that way, you would have to start over, even if you were. I'm sorry, keep going, even if you were in a lot of profit. So I'm looking forward to hearing what you guys think on that. And the more I play here, hopefully, the better you understand that. Hit third 12 again, so we lost. So we'd sit out and spin. But I figured I needed to make another video on this because there's so much interest. And there's another example right there. If you hit a 0 after a third 12 as well, it's protecting you from having a bunch of losses in a row. And every once in a while with this, you really realize that, because sometimes you get 6 or 7 of the third 12 in a row and you're like, man, this system has just really protected me. So I really like that about it. And okay, now we're ready to spin again after we got something that wasn't third 12. Okay, and we got a win. And then we're definitely up in total profit. So the way I've been playing, I definitely would start back over at $10. But the main thing I want to hear from you guys is, would you rather win money faster or know that that you're safe? And that's something that I think is really important. So I think that playing it the other way can still be fairly safe, but just not as safe. So the only way we're going to know that is to practice it a lot, get repetitions, and try to figure out what's best for each and every person. So getting a few wins in a row here. So you should get more wins than losses when you're playing 24 numbers. Now we're up $80. So we started out really slow, but we're starting to make money now. Another one. And this is why I'm more apt to playing it safe and then waiting for streaks like this to make me money, instead of constantly keeping track of each session and making sure that we're continually making money all the time. So right now I'm leaning towards playing anytime you're in profit, total profit, go ahead and reset to $10. So see, now we're getting some wins in a row. Now we're up $130. See how quick that happened? So you can, with this system, you can stay stale for a while and just stay right at, say you're up $30, you could stay up 30 for like 10 minutes if things don't go your way, or you can even drop back to 10 or less. But eventually you're going to hit a streak of wins because you have more than half the numbers. So now we're sitting out again. And we hit something that wasn't third 12, so we increased by 1 unit. Okay, and then we check our balance. We're up in total. And then we go back to $10. But I know some of you get bored if you get stale and you don't want anything for a little while. So I'm looking forward to hearing what you guys think. How many people think you should do total profit or session profit? There's another loss. Okay, so we're going to sit out until we hit something that's not third 12. Okay, and then it's time to bet. We add 1 unit. And again, you can go as high as 30 units if you need to. Just keep going up by 1, by 1, by 1. So we're in session. So this would be a good example. We won, and we're not in session profit because we were at 150 when we started this session. And if you were playing session, you'd stay at the higher level. But I'm going to drop back to $10 because I just like staying safe and waiting for those runs where you win a bunch in a row and then cashing out. So see, there's another win, and we got back to 150 anyway, and try to get some more wins in a row. And there's another loss. And so then we spin without betting. What's really refreshing when you're playing this system, though, like I said, is if you get like 6 or 7 in a row of third 12 and it doesn't cost you, it's really refreshing. Or zeros as well. So that one wasn't third 12, so we would increase by 1 unit and spin that one. But then we lost again. And see, this is when this system starts to take a toll on you, is if you go third 12, first 12, third 12, second 12, third 12, first 12, that's when this system sends you up the ladder there. And so those last ones were at 20. We lost, so we're not going to bet. So we know the next bet's going to be 30. See, we didn't lose on that 35. That's refreshing to me. And then we're going to spin again and wait for something that's not third 12. And we finally got something. So we know our next bet's going to be 30. And we got it. And then we're going to check our balance and see we lost a bunch of money. So if you were playing session right now, you would say, hey, man, I can't go back to 10 or I'm going to lose money. But I'm okay with that. So because I know that eventually I'm going to get on a run and it's going to bring me back up. But I know a lot of you have said, well, I want to play session where if I'm down for this session because I was at 150, I'm not going back to 10 until I bet again. So again, let me know which way you're going to do it, but I'm leaning towards just anytime I'm in total profit, going back to 10, and then always cashing out after a bunch of wins in a row, which eventually will happen since you have 24 numbers. Okay, so see what's starting to happen now. And I do think there's something to what David Bach said as well, though. If you start this out and you start out losing right away and you start out in the negative, I think it's okay to take a chance and try to get it back in one spin and then jump back into the normal rotation. So I think that's okay as well. Just got to get a feel for whether you think it's the right time or not. So we lost that last one, so we have to sit out. Okay, now it's time to bet, and then we're going to add a unit. The difference also is when I talked to David, and he said when he was playing in session, he made it up as high as 27 at one time. So we check our profit, it's time to start over. But the highest I've gone by doing total profit is I've gone up to 7, and I've played this a bunch now. Right now, I think in this session, the highest we've gone is 3 or 4, and the highest I've gone when playing total is 7. But David said when he was playing session, he made it up to 27 at one time, and that's because if you try to get it all back, you're going to keep moving up that ladder if you get some bad luck. So everybody's got to make that decision for themselves, but I want to hear what you guys think. And we bet 20 on that last one. And we bet at 10 each, and we won, so we bet again. Then we lost again. So then we spin without betting. And hopefully you guys are getting the hang of this now. I just have had like I said, have had so many good comments, and people are so excited about this that that I had to do another video on it and show you different ways of playing it. And it's time to add a unit, and we got something that wasn't a third 12. See, now it went back and forth again. That's not good. So that means we lost at 20, so the next bet will be 30, but we spin without betting. And we didn't lose even though it was a third 12 there. We're just going to spin again. And we didn't lose there on 0 because we're waiting for something that's not third 12 or 0. So that's saving us money each and every time we do that. And we hit something that wasn't in there, so now it's time to increase by unit again and spin. And we lost. We hit 0 again. So look at that. So now we go, the next one will be 30. We got to spin without betting. Okay, so it's time to bet again. So now we put 30 down. And when I was talking about 7, I meant 70 because I'm starting with $10 units. See, then it went back again. So this is the worst case scenario. If you have 0 or it's third 12, go back and forth every third. So you see that there? That's when we're really getting into trouble. And we were 30 on that last one. And so we know the next one's going to be 40. But we're going to spin again without betting. And then we know it's time to bet again. And this is where you really have to decide if you're going to do session or total, because we just lost a bunch of our profit. We hit at 40. Now we're only up $30 instead of like 160. So a lot of you might at this point want to keep going, but I'm going to keep playing the way I've been playing, and just we'll have to get it back up there again. But like I said, there's a lot of people that have said, you know, I want to stay on this $40 until I get it all back, or I want to you know, or increase it even more and try to get it all back. You have to make that decision for yourself. But again, I think I'm going to start back at 10, and then before I know it, I'll be back up to 100 and something again. So I'm glad you guys got to see both sides of it, and let me know what you think. And you know, send me those down in the comments. Also, the question I asked you at the beginning about whether or not you guys have to ante when playing roulette, like in Oklahoma, I'd love to hear from you, because a lot of the people that live in North Texas or Oklahoma have told me that's why they play automated or video, or they play online roulette. It's because they don't want to do that, and I'd like to know what other areas do that as well. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please hit the red subscribe button in the lower right hand corner. Also ring that bell for notifications, because I have new content releasing every single day of the week at 9 a.m. And this is the Roulette Master, and have a great day.